Hello, my name is Finton and I am addicted to Villa. Unai Emery has made his first appearance as an Aston Villa manager. He was out there on the training ground and he was calling the shots. I'm not going to lie, it looked like good vibes, but vibes aren't going to decide whether we win football matches or not. He seemed to be setting our team up to press from the front. He seemed to be doing things that, as Villa fans, we kind of forgot that are pretty basic. He seemed to actually be coaching the team. So what does Unai Emery need to do to get Aston Villa ticking, in my opinion? I am going to list 5 things that I think Emery should do. I am going to talk about the things that probably frustrated me the most with Stevie G there. The one that was number one for me and that Emery 100% just needs to fix. He has to play players on merit. One of Stevie's decisions that ultimately led to him getting the sack was continuing to play Phil Coutinho. Coutinho looked like magic when he first came in. He looked like he was going to rip the Premier League up. But apart from that first 4 or 5 game period, he's been terrible. Maybe he will flourish in an Unai Emery setup. Maybe if we have a manager who is capable of actually coaching a team to attack, we will see Coutinho become the old Coutinho that we loved. I have my doubts because of the physicality, because of the pace of the game, because of his motivation. He's probably not going to get into the World Cup squad. But anyway, this is not to go on too much about Coutinho. Another one that was incredibly frustrating was obviously seeing John McGinn with the captain's armband, incredibly out of form and just starting every game. And up until the final few weeks of Stevie's job at Aston Villa, he was playing most of the games. He finally started getting whipped off. Maybe he crumbled being the captain. I'm not sure. But Stevie had to take him out of the team. He just did, and he didn't. Emi Buendia was looking unbelievable every time he came on. He was making these incredible sub appearances. He was putting up incredible numbers in terms of assists, in terms of goals, chance creation. He was the man who we needed to be building our team around. And then we've got Dougie Luiz sitting on the bench for what? The first 4, 5, 6 games of the season, pretty much. We have Arsenal trying to buy him. He's getting linked with AC Milan, but he can't get into the Aston Villa side. It was utter madness. That needs to be gone. The players are all starting with a fresh slate. They need to be given an equal chance. And who Emery thinks is the best players, they need to go into the starting 11. And if Emery brings someone over from Villarreal, whoever it is, or someone from Spain, or somebody, and he just starts playing them in the team, they need to be there on merit. I believe they will be. I don't think Emery will make the same mistake. But for me, that is the number one thing that I cannot handle to watch anymore. Secondly, Stevie G did not know his starting 11. He did not know his favourite 11. He was chopping and changing. Emery needs to find a core, at least 8, 9 players and know which system he wants to play in. And then he needs to play to the players' strengths. Stevie G, first of all, didn't know what his team was. He just hadn't got a clue. Like, he didn't have a first 11. He was just chopping and changing consistently. Aaron Danks was in there for 2 games and it was the first time we named an unchanged 11 all season. It's madness. It's madness. Some of it was out of his control, but it always wasn't. So we need to have the first 11 picked. We just do. And then when we have them, we can't be playing this game where we're just playing the ball out wide, where we don't have wingers, and then we're trying to cross the ball. Emery needs to find a system that is going to suit these players and play to their strengths. In the 4-0 win against Brentford, we played to the players' strengths. Leon Bailey was out on the left wing. We had Danny Ings in the centre with Ollie Watkins playing off him, and we had a little bit of actual space in the middle of the park for players like Buendia and Dougie Luiz to pull strings because we had a bit of width, something we just didn't see under Stevie. So we need to have the best 11 and we need to play to the strengths. Number 3 for me personally is that we need to have a more balanced squad. Stevie wanted to play with this narrow front 3, I guess, 2 number 10s. So he sold all his wingers. We do not have any wingers. And on top of that, I want the squad to be built for longevity. I want the squad to be planned long term. Stevie bringing in Coutinho when we already have Emi made no sense. Especially considering we didn't have a midfielder that he was clearly happy with. This was before we had Kamara. We had no defensive midfielder. We were playing Dougie there the whole time. We have no wingers. We have no backup for right back and left back. We have 37-year-old Ashley Young, who's a converted fullback, who has done exceptionally well, covering both left back and right back. It is madness. We need depth at full back. We probably need to get a midfielder. We need to get wingers. Every bloody team plays with wingers. It just has to be done. Somebody like Sarr, who we got linked with for quite some time, but then apparently Stevie pulled the trigger on that deal. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But this, to me, seems like the absolute perfect profile. He's either 23, 24 years old. He has Premier League experience. He has unbelievable technical ability. He is quick. He is direct. He's exactly the kind of player that Villa are crying out for. Maybe Leon Bailey's going to be that player, but I'm still not 100% sure about that. So we need to get a bit of balance in our squad, and we need to be planning for the future. Number 4 for me personally is don't pick fights. One of Stevie's main downfalls was picking fights with players in public. He stripped Tyrone Mings of the captaincy, dropped him for the first game of the season, had to backtrack, obviously destroyed morale in the dressing room. Tyrone Mings has done exceptionally well this season, given that he got publicly stripped of the captaincy, dropped for the opening day. Rumours that Stevie wanted him out. Maybe if we could have got another centre back in, Mings would have been out of there. But with the injury to Carlos early on in the season, he's pretty much been our main man. He has pretty much been our best defender. Now, I'm not saying he's been unbelievable, but we've been more solid in the last 3 or 4 weeks, excluding, what am I talking about? We lost to Fulham 3-0 and we lost 4-0 to Newcastle. We had a little period where we were a bit more solid. Not so much lately. But my point is, I don't want Emery picking fights. I just don't. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't particularly like Mikel Arteta at all. Not a big fan. But what he does, if you watch the All or Nothing documentary, is he goes in, he will say his piece, and then he will say, this was not good enough, it was embarrassing, but I'm going to go out there to the media and I'm going to defend you. And that's what you want as a manager. Keep it in-house. Don't be going out and ruining morale and calling out people and creating headlines and deflecting away from yourself. You are the manager. Take it on the chin. Sort things behind closed doors and the players will respect you and they're more likely to fight for you, because I don't think anyone can say towards the end, when you look at our performances against Leeds, Nottingham Forest, Fulham, the last game that Jared had, they weren't fighting from the way they should have been. And finally, my last thing that I would love to see Emery do is put his faith in the youth. I don't have an issue if he comes in and brings a couple of experienced players with him. That's fine. That's okay. I don't mind that. These rumors linking us with someone like Hazard, I don't want Hazard. People will be like, oh my God, what do you mean you don't want Hazard? It looks a carbon copy of Philippe Coutinho. Hazard in his prime is up there for me with Thierry Henry in terms of excitement. He was absolutely incredible in the Premier League, but he's barely played for Real Madrid. It's so similar to Coutinho. I can't handle it again. Put your faith in the youth. Cameron Archer got told he was going to play a big part. He signed a contract. Maybe he had injuries, maybe he didn't. But there was times when he was on the bench and he did not get put on when we needed goals. And Watkins and Ings were just not capable of scoring them. We have Aaron Ramsey ripping it up for Norwich. Will he break through? I'm not 100% sure, but I want to see him given a chance. Aston Villa fans love having a player. Every team loves having a player from the academy playing in the Premier League. Big Tim at QPR, under the guide of Mick Beale, got man of the match against Norwich last night. He looks a proper prospect. He looks like he could be part of a midfield too. Don't say the word double pivot. I don't even know. I don't know. People get mad about it though. He looks like a genuinely potential top class talent. And then of course we have Golden Boy Jacob Ramsey, who I want to see more of. I think he has the ability to be a top player, but I do want to see him coming in and out of the team at times. I feel at times he just got kept in a little bit too much when he was getting a little out of form. As a young player, you want a chance for him to be in and out, and you don't want too much on his shoulders. They are the 5 things that I want to see Emery do. Do you agree with them? Is there anything in particular that you believe we need to see happen as Aston Villa fans for our team to progress and start moving up the table and to kickstart this project that has been faltering for 12 months, maybe 18 months? The second half of the season when Grealish got injured with Smith wasn't great either. I really appreciate everyone who watches these videos. If you do enjoy the content, I would love if you hit the sub button. Thank you so much for watching. I am Fintan. I am addicted to Villa. I'll chat to you soon.